So yes, Ripley in Alien was originally written gender neutral with the assumption that it would be a man. It is important to note, however, that casting a woman in such a role does automatically change the themes to be more feminist, even if they are already at least leaning towards feminism. Because casting a woman in that kind of role automatically makes it, in a lot of ways, a woman's story. And as I found out recently from one of my classmates, Antoinette Pierre, who is just an amazing writer who you will be hearing a lot of just great works from in the future. She pointed out to me in our critical race theory class that the same goes for black characters. And whenever you place a black character in a film as a lead, it automatically becomes a black story. Take a look at the way that just casting Anthony Mackie as Captain America changes the story of Captain America. Even if they never mentioned the fact that he is a black man, which personally I am very glad that they did and they dealt with it, even if they had never mentioned it, it would always change the dynamic of his character because of the fact that he is a black man taking on the mantle of a white man's journey. Another example that I've frequently stated is, like, I've always said that if they make Legally Blonde as a remake, that casting a black woman would just be amazing for the role of Elle. But even if you changed nothing about the script except for the fact that Elle Woods would be a black woman, it would automatically change the story. It would change the ways in which she is looked at. Because being a minority character has a certain level of assumptions, and it changes the ways in which your character has to interact with the world and the way the world interacts with your character. So, like with Elle Woods, continuing on with that example, if Elle Woods were a black woman, it wouldn't just be the misogyny that gets her treated as less than. It would be the fact that she would be a black woman with blonde hair experiencing misogynoir, which is a specific experience by black women in which their misogyny has underlying tones of racism to it. Something that, even though I am a woman, I will never experience misogynoir because I am a white woman. So going back to Alien, the ways in which people deny her knowledge and her expertise because of the fact that she's a woman, it automatically deals with things like misogyny. And that's one of my favorite things about film theory and about dissecting the way marginalized groups interact with film and television and with the writing. Because it's such a simple change that can really deeply impact the story as a whole and the way it is interpreted. And if you want another example, like look at The Little Mermaid. They barely change anything except for the fact that Ariel is a black girl, and it automatically changed the way people perceived it. I love talking about this stuff, but also follow Antonella. She's amazing.